Hi friends, today I'm sitting down because we still have furniture and I'm going to answer your questions in a Q&A. Any guesses what the number one question is? So welcome back. As you can tell, there's boxes behind me and I'm filming this today because this is probably the last day we're going to have furniture in our home. Our move is coming very quickly, so I thought I would jump on and answer your questions. I asked over on my community tab and on Instagram if you guys had any questions for me, so I thought we'd sit down and do a quick little Q&A. And I bet you're gonna be surprised, not really, by the number one question, and that is why Texas? So many of you want to know why we're moving to Texas. Does it have to do with the cost of living? And what about the kids being in school? What do our kids think about it? So I think to explain that, I'm going to go ahead and link a video I did when I first announced we were moving to Texas. And I think explaining more of why we never thought we would move will give you an idea as to why we are moving and why we chose Texas. So a little bit of a backstory. My husband loves his job and it's a very specialized job, and the three places you find most of his industry are Miami, New York, and here in California. So we were both born and raised in California. We're both natives. Our families were here, and so obviously we were gonna stay here, close to family and close to his job. Well, I don't know about you, but about a year ago, the job situation changed a little bit and he began working remotely. So that opened up a whole new world of possibilities for our family. Honestly, we never envisioned a time where my husband would leave his job. He loves it, he's good at it. And we have thought about other career moves that would have brought us to like Washington State, where there's a lot of technology jobs. We thought, well, maybe when a job isn't an issue, we might retire in some place like Utah because we loved it there. We thought it was beautiful. We thought Colorado was beautiful. We thought we really wanted to check out the Oregon coast just because they're close to us. And we figured eventually we would probably move out of California because it is expensive to live here. But with the change in his job becoming remote, and his company has actually thrived in a time of quarantine where people were stuck at home. They were so much more productive. They've grown a lot. And so always feeling really tied here to my husband's job, the fact that we were both born and raised here, so the majority of our family was here. It just made sense for us to settle here, and we've raised our family here and it's been wonderful. But we had an opportunity in our personal lives pop up about a year and a half ago that we really thought was a great opportunity for our son because we felt so tied to my husband's job here. And so we went out as a family in November to check out the area, and it was really nice. We were all walking away saying the same thing. The people there are the nicest people we've ever met. And as a parent, it just kept coming to mind that people there treat people the way I hope I'm raising my kids to treat others, because I was raised by a teacher and a milkman, and so growing up I was told and taught to treat the custodian and the groundskeeper with the same respect that you would give to a CEO of a company, president, or the manager. And I saw a lot of that there, and even our kids noticed how genuinely nice people were. So we all walked away with a really favorable feeling about Texas. And life is funny because now we are going and our son has decided to stay. With the change in my husband's work and being able to work remotely, we are jumping on that opportunity that came up in our personal lives a year and a half ago that we just didn't think was possible. And our son has a sweetheart here, so he has decided to stay here for now. We've let them both know that under no uncertain terms, they are always welcome to join us. And so we're hoping that they do down the road. So we'll see what happens with our oldest, but for now we are moving. We're really excited. It's gonna be a really good move for our family. And so everyone wanted to know, does it have to do with the cost of living? Not necessarily, although it is an added benefit. There are a lot of things we've learned about the difference between California and Texas. And so it will be more cost effective for us to move and live there. Now moving is expensive, so we've tried to cut down a lot of those costs. I even did a video on that, but there is no state income tax. So that changes a lot when you're coming from California to somewhere like Texas and you're able to keep your employment that's maybe possibly a higher pay than where you're moving to. So for us, it has been a win-win. It's also put us in a position to purchase our first home. We have always rented here in California, and we've tried, my husband has the number, I think it's like 64 times to purchase a home. We have great credit. It was never an issue money-wise, but we were always a backup offer to an all-cash offer. And so that's been really frustrating. Also, we've been sort of limited on what we're interested here because I have MS and a one-story is a must. And where we live is so close to the beach, and they're not making any more beach that I know of, that everything is a two-story and is built vertically. So it's been a real challenge for us, and it did put us in a position to purchase a home for the first time. Just so happens to also be our dream home. Another question I kept getting was, do you have family or friends? Do you know anyone in Texas? And yes and no. So we do have some extended family. They're about 3 or 4 hours away. That definitely wasn't a make or break for us. When we go, we will know quite a few people there, and we do have friends that visit there regularly. So now we'll have a place to host them when they come out to visit their family as well. And another question was, how are the kids doing with the move? What do they feel about moving in the middle of high school? So another thing that is kind of why we never thought we would be leaving, especially until retirement, was that we have kids in school. My parents moved when I was in high school 5 times. That was not fun. And so looking back, I made the absolute best friends I could on that very last move. And now I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it was stressful, it was hard, it was rough, and we never wanted to do that to our kids. So it's a huge blessing that they are so open to going. So this is how our children received the idea of moving. Our oldest was like, well, she's not in Texas. And we said, we'll take her with us. And he said, she's not ready to go. So he is really tied to staying here for his sweetheart. And he does want to potentially move down the road. Fingers crossed, we're saying our prayers. We're hoping he does join us at some point because we're gonna miss him. He's also very ready to be on his own and move out. Even if we weren't relocating, he would be ready to move out and be looking to no longer share a bedroom with his brother, being as that his next birthday, he'll be 20. He's been in college for a couple of years and he's tired of bunk beds. For our daughter, it's been a little bit of a different story. They've all been really unique in what they feel about the move. She was initially the first person, even before me, on board. And I give her a lot of credit for that. She's seen things really maturely. She'll be a senior next year, and with learning remotely, she was willing to make the change with school. She also decided that after being the cheer captain that she was done cheering, and so she has really good friends here that she'll miss, but she also realizes that after senior year, everyone goes their own way. They start going to college and moving out, and she knew that that would just be a year away anyways. So she was the most strongly on board first, and then she's had tough days. We've talked about it a lot, knowing that there are going to be days when she misses her friends. And so the good thing is a few of them are going to be going to school in Texas, so hopefully she'll actually be able to still see them. But I think that's normal when you mature and you know who your friends, your real true friends are. You just want to stay connected to them. So for the most part, she was the first one on board, but she's still dealing with the reality of leaving her dearest friends behind. Now, I don't know about in your family, but in our family, we have different personalities, and our youngest by far has been the most adventurous. So his response was, no, I'm not going. I'm gonna stay here. I'll just camp, and then I'll ride my bike up to the grocery store and I'll buy my food there. I'll get items that are on clearance. No, I'm not going. I'm staying here and I'm camping. And for him, it wasn't an issue of leaving school. They are in the 8th grade, so they will be going into high school starting brand new soon anyways. They'd been remote learning, so it wasn't a matter of leaving his classmates. He had met some really strong friends and had really close friendships at our church, and so he really didn't want to leave his group of friends. And so through this whole process, something that we do is pray about it. And so we've been praying about it and praying that God would open doors and close them to help us making such a massive decision. And something my husband had been praying was that the kids would have a change in heart, specifically our youngest, and that he would come to him at some point and talk about the move. And that happened. He came to him, I think it was like a week later, and basically told him, all right, I'll go. So he is now the one that every morning when I wake up, he tells me how many days until we move. He's completely on the other end of the spectrum. He's no longer going to be staying and camping. He can't wait to get there. He stresses me out because he tells me how many days, hours, minutes until we move. He's really outdoorsy, and there's a lot he's looking forward to there. Here our kids have grown up on the beach with Disney passes. I think we may have burnt them out on both of those things because it's just always been part of their life, because now when we mention the beach, they all kind of go, ugh, sand. And they're just over Disney. So they're ready for something new, and Texas will definitely be that. So speaking of the beach, another question I got was, where in California are you located? Stay tuned because I'm doing a whole video on that, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy that video. And I was asked about our kids' names. I don't really feel comfortable giving you their names, but I thought I would tell you what I almost named them. So for our oldest, I really liked the name Noah, and I also like the name Parker. So I was thinking Noah Parker for a very long time, and it didn't end up being his name, but I've always loved the name Noah. For our daughter, I really liked the name Lawson. I don't even know where I got it from, but I really liked Lawson Campbell. And when you put it with our last name, it just kind of sounded like a law firm. Someone in our family pointed that out to me, and then I couldn't unhear it. But I was gonna call her Sunny, short for Lawson, and that would really suit her, but her name is perfect. And our youngest, I really liked the name Alexander, and I kept going between Alexander or just Xander, which was popular for a while, and he didn't end up with that name either, but he's one of a kind, and so is his name. Another question is, do you have a pet? Yes, there he is, using the doggy door. That's Poco. I'm also getting asked really often about my hair color. So I've always dyed my hair myself, and I feel like the number on the box and the name changes consistently, but it is by Clairol. It's nice and easy, and I bounce around anywhere from a medium brown to an auburn. There's one I really like that's getting harder to find, and that is medium dark reddish brown. I'd show you a box, but I don't have one because we're moving, and I used my last box to dye my hair before the wedding. Another question I got was on what eyeliner I use. I really like eye makeup, as you can tell, And so I really like anything like this that is a felt tip. So this one is just from Maybelline. I think it's even a sample that I got. This one's actually a little pointy for me. I like something that's a little bit on the shorter end, but anything that is kind of like a marker, just because it's easier for me to put on. And last question is, how do you start a channel? When, and has your family always been supportive? They've always been supportive. My kids are probably older than most YouTubers that probably start out. It's just something that I was really interested in when we canceled cable. We got rid of television and I started watching YouTube. I will tell you, as I've started making videos, I watch way less YouTube than I used to. I have less time to do it, and I also don't want it to kind of influence me a little. It can feel kind of stressful, like you gotta keep up with people. If you're watching a lot of videos, you gotta catch up, and I never want my videos to come from a place of stressed out. So it's my fun little hobby. I started back in, I don't know, was it 2016? I've always adored the Target dollar spot and decorating for holidays, and I think it was a Christmas haul. So I'd been thinking about it for a while, and I finally just sat down with my cell phone and recorded a video. So I think whenever the time is right for you, and how to start a channel, I think you have to be interested in what you're filming. I love looking. I don't do as much buying as people probably think. So for me, it's just interesting to go look, and I would be going whether I brought my camera with me or not. So just find something that you love and then share it with everyone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick Q&A, hopefully quick. And the next time I see you guys is probably gonna be in about 5 days. And then I've got something really exciting for you guys, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back in the next video.